Hi, this is Liz. Today we're going to create a closed terrarium. A closed terrarium is a garden in a container with a lid that is mostly self-sustaining. We're going to talk about the steps to construct a terrarium and how the water cycle works. These terrariums are cool projects and they look great in any home. Let's look at how closed terrariums can be self-sustaining. The water in a closed system goes through several forms, but it doesn't leave the terrarium unless you have a porous seal. The water cycle has three main steps: evaporation, condensation, and precipitation. Water on Earth goes through these same steps. It rains, which is precipitation, then the water is evaporated and turns into water vapor. The water vapor rises in the atmosphere and condenses into droplets, which causes it to rain again. A terrarium duplicates this cycle but on a much smaller scale. Take a look at the diagram to see each step in the process. Closed terrariums have extremely high humidity levels, so you want to choose plants that enjoy water. This list includes a few plants that would suit a closed terrarium. You can find some of these plants at your local garden center. You want to choose plants that enjoy similar light and water conditions, and keep in mind the size of the jar when you're selecting. The plants will grow. I'll actually be using an Anubias nana plant, which is an aquarium plant. It can grow in soil and loves high humidity, so I'm hoping it will work well in this terrarium. Here's what you need for this project. Get a jar with a lid, like this one. You need some kind of drainage rocks, like these, rinsed or washed off. A mesh screen, such as a piece of loofah. Activated charcoal, and potting soil. You can add some optional decorative items like shells, branches, tumbled rocks, or toy dinosaur. You'll need some plants, or a selection of mosses and some filtered or dechlorinated water. Other materials that you might want to have on hand include garden gloves, a spoon or cup for the soil, chopsticks or a long needle, paper towels, and scissors. First, we're going to provide a false bottom. This is to provide drainage and filtration for the water. This will reduce the likelihood of root rot and help establish the water cycle. Start with your drainage rocks. Put a layer or two on the bottom of the jar. Then place your terrarium mesh or recycled netting on top and spread a layer of activated charcoal on the mesh. All right, now we're ready to add the soil. You want to add about 1/3 the height of the jar, or use your best judgment for the size of the plant that you have. Now you can add in some of your larger items. Sometimes it's easier to add these last, but you can also plant around them. You want to dig a little small hole for your plant to go in, depending on the size of the roots. Now you're going to take your plant, you're going to place it in that hole, and you're going to cover its roots with soil. All right, once you have that arranged, you can add any small decorative items. I have these little Lego minifigures that I want to add. And you can twiddle with it to your heart's desire. Now you do want to water it. I'm going to add probably a little bit more water than you would because this is a plant that really likes water, but you want to be careful not to add too much. The last step is to wipe off any dirt or spots or water on the side of the container. This will just give it a nice, clear glass view that you can see the plant through. All right, I think that's done. Let's go ahead and put the lid on it. So watering a closed terrarium is the tricky part. You may not know how much you need, or you may have accidentally added too much. Keep an eye on the terrarium the first few days to let you know if you watered it correctly. If you overwatered, it will be foggy and you'll see a lot of condensation on the glass. Just take the lid off for a few hours and you should be fine. If you underwatered, you won't see any condensation, and if you test the soil, it will feel dry. If you watered it just right, you'll see some condensation at the top of the jar. Every few months or so, you might want to open it up, trim back the plant if it grew, water again if it needs it, and clean the glass. If you're interested in learning more, check out these books available from the library. Thanks for watching.